Excited to be joined now by Locked On College Football's Spencer McLaughlin, who thinks Utah is going to have a very good season. And if Utah is going to have that good season, they need Devon Dampier to be that guy at quarterback. Devon Dampier is a guy I believe can be a top 10 quarterback in college football this season. Spencer and I had this discussion last year in which I said Cam Rising would be. That didn't go so well, but I do believe that I didn't learn my lesson, Spencer. I'm right back, and I believe that Devon Dampier is going to land as one of the 10 best quarterbacks in college football. Really quick for why I think that we can talk about if he will be in a moment, but I'll just really quick say why I think he can be. We'll talk about other names in a moment, but look, this is what I love about him, right? I think he's a guy who has 4,000 yards potential, right? When you look at 2,500 yards passing last year, 1,000 yards rushing a season ago, a dynamic threat at quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks last year in forced missed tackles, led the fourth best offense in the country on the yards per game basis. He seems primed to me to make the group of five to P4 jump behind that offensive line too, with just the jaw-dropping abilities. He had 31 total touchdowns a season ago. I know he had some interceptions, but this guy is one of the best watches in the sport. He's electric at the quarterback spot, and I think he's going to put the Big 12 and the country on notice this season. What do you like about Devon Dampier?
I like the fit with Utah. I'm curious, but I do like the fit because I think Utah's offense has the chance to look a lot like Georgia Tech's from a season ago. Georgia Tech, good team. Some people have them preseason power rated number 4 in the ACC and a top ACC championship dark horse contender. Some people have that.
Not college football.
Yeah, perhaps. And so I think when you look at what Georgia Tech did last year, they upset Florida State, send the Seminoles into a death spiral for their season. But, they were a good team, not a great team, but they were a good one. I mean, they darn near beat the SEC champions on their home field last week of the regular season. Took 8 overtimes, and they couldn't make it. They couldn't quite get there. But I think that, a passing game that is competent is all that's required here because we know Utah loves to run the football, and they've run their quarterback, I think, situationally in the past. I wonder if that doesn't become a feature of this offense for Jason Beck, Utah's offensive coordinator, not to be confused with Jason Eck. So I think that the dynamic offensively is really interesting for how that can work because Cam Rising, again, I think of Utah the last several years, and I can just picture in my head a couple of key scrambles, the quarterback power play on 3rd and 4th and short. That's a staple, right? I think with Devon Dampier, you might see quarterback sweep or, Y lead, read option, whatever, those sorts of concepts on 1st and 2nd down a lot, in addition to being good situationally. So, yeah, he does need to protect the football better. He's going up against better competition. I think that's a legitimate question to ask. But what excites me about him is, hey, I think that, if he's willing to put his body out there a little bit, or think about Riley Leonard at Notre Dame, same thing. Passing game, competent. Capable. That's all that's needed. It doesn't have to be 280 and 3 touchdowns and taking downfield shots. Like, no, can you go for 200 yards and a touchdown, not turn the ball over? That's probably all you complete 65-ish% of your passes. That's all you need, I think, for this Utah offense. So that's what intrigues me the most.
Totally agree. And Kyle Whittingham hates turnovers. So I do think this Utah team is very much going to be run heavy first.
A stark contrast of the coaches who love turnovers.
Yes,
college football.
I'm just like I will say with Kyle though, I've been to games where I'm like, why was Utah not throwing the ball? They are up 10-0 right now, but they need to score, and it'll be like, well, they don't trust a quarterback to put it in the air. Nate Johnson at the time, so it's like they're just going to have him run and run and run. So he does it almost to a fault at times, I think. But Dampier is a guy who I think will earn his trust. But Utah run heavy, especially with the 2 offensive tackles they have, that arguably the best tackle duo in the country. But
is Nate Johnson still a wide receiver at Vanderbilt?
Nate Johnson is an athlete at the University of Utah right now. I actually just did my first segment on him and how I think he might actually end up.
Wait, he came back?
He came back, Spencer.
Oh my gosh.
I just did a segment on how I actually think if there was an injury to Dampier or something happened, they might use Nate Johnson a lot at QB just for the rushing abilities that he has. But I'm curious to see what his role is because he's generally listed as an athlete, Spencer, on the roster. He's not listed as a receiver. He's listed as
I'm calling this right now. Watch for him to get snaps on special teams this year.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
You bookmark that.
Okay. I like it.
Any kind of special team situation. I'm just throwing that out there.
If he can return punts, that'd be massive. They got some other guys.
No. I'm talking as like a gunner, a kickoff blocker. I mean, some like sicko spot.
Yeah.
Holder maybe for a fake field goal situation. Watch for that. As you can tell, I did not know that.
He's one of the fastest guys on the field, so I think they got to find a way to get him out there. But going back to best quarterbacks in the country, I think Devon Dampier will be one of the 10 best in college football. CBS Sports also put out a list, and they had him in there too. You're giving me discouraging looks again. That's what you did last year too. I watched that.
Hold on. Let me find CBS's list and see.
While you look that up, I'll read you off the names that I think should be above Devon Dampier. Obviously, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, John Mateer. We'll just say his name for now. We don't need to say anything else about John Mateer. Drew Aller, Carson Beck, Lenore Sellers, Sam Levitt, Arch Manning, Devon Dampier in right there at 9 over Avery Johnson, Sawyer Robertson, DJ Lagway, a heck of a lot of other deserving options. But I think
is this the piece from April 9th, college football's top returning quarterbacks for 2025?
It is indeed.
Okay. Let me.
I know it says returning, but still.
Okay.
He's going to be
Klubnik, Aller, Arch, Beck, Nussmeier, Robertson, nice pick, Altmaier, Sellers, Dampier at not.
I'm not alone on this one, Spencer.
You're not. Having him ahead of DJ Lagway is going to upset people in SEC country. But
I know I listened to this one podcast called Locked On College Football, and they told me Florida might go 7-5 this year. So I don't know
how good that's true. That's not necessarily a reflection of the talent at quarterback so much as the lack of talent at head coach.
Wow.
Yeah, hey, we're all acting like Billy Napier hasn't had several years to get it right, and that this will finally be the time.
He went well when he went out to Utah. Remember that?
Yeah, and
with Nate Johnson.
It's like you're Florida. You're Florida. Tell me why you shouldn't be expected to Kurt Signetti that program. Like what are we talking about here? It's Florida. So anyway, I don't think I would even put him ahead of DJ Lagway. Lenora Sellers at 8 is way too low. Sawyer Robertson at 6 is way too high. Carson Beck at 4 is probably a little bit high. Not a lot, but a little. Like Nussmeier at 5 is way too low. Returning quarterbacks. Yeah, I don't. 10 best. I think the excitement with his athleticism, the potential is definitely there. Who was the last quarterback to come up from the group of 5 and be one of the 10 best at quarterback in all of college football?
Well, if we did like FCS, I could stretch to Cam Ward and do that thing. I would say last year.
Cam Ward had 2 years at Washington State before he went to Miami and became the number 1 pick.
That's a great point. I was thinking if we go back to last year, just for G5 QBs who became P4 and have success, I don't know where Curtis Rourke ended up from Indiana. I don't know if he's a top 10 guy, right?
That would be the best. Really good, that would be the best example.
Yeah. So I think you get that too. But I feel like there has been other guys we've seen make this transition and have success. And especially when you look at a guy like a Devon Dampier, we have seen guys ascend up and be able to take over and make plays like that too. And there's just a level that I think Dampier is capable of getting because of that dual threat ability. I think has him a chance to elevate. Like a Luke Altmaier, he's really good, right? But I don't know if his ceiling is as high as Devon Dampier. The floor is higher. Floor is definitely higher. But I don't know if the ceiling is what Devon Dampier is when I look at that dynamic ability.
Yeah, I agree on the ceiling comparison with Altmaier, who also is in an offense that is not really prone to throwing the ball. Dylan Raiola is not on this list. Kind of surprised at that.
Really? You think he should be on there? They didn't make a bowl game.
At least deserves. They made a bowl game. They made a bowl game last year.
They did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he is a true freshman. Had them ranked in the top 25. Then they lost to Illinois, stumbled a bit down the stretch, but got to a bowl game, and that was an 8-year drought for Nebraska. He pulled that off as a true freshman. That's not nothing. You know, the difficult thing I run into is what are we judging as the 10 best quarterbacks? The quarterbacks who are going to have the 10 best stats this year, or the quarterbacks who just think, yeah, if I were starting a team, I'd have him there. Because I go that. Yeah, I don't think I would have Dampier in the top 10 because I think CBS's list has got a solid number of guys that, I wouldn't take today, right here, right now. Yeah. I wouldn't take Dampier confidently over them, and I do like Dylan Raiola. There are definitely a couple that I'm missing out there.
Jennings, you got Hoover, Rocco Beck.
Yeah, Kevin Jennings at SMU not on this list. That's a pretty egregious misfire. Jennings is
He
good.
had those 3 picks against Penn State. Like I know he was really good last year too, but like he just didn't in that big game. He didn't
that's
show up
true. Also, why Devon Dampier and not John Mateer?
John Mateer was 3rd for me. That's for this list, for the CBS one.
Yeah.
I'm high on Mateer as we mentioned, as long as he's going to play.
No, I like, by the way, this is not shade at Devon Dampier, but if you're saying like, well, he's certainly in the top 10, I'm saying, well, I don't know that he's definitively at this point in time someone I'd put in my head over Dylan Raiola. I don't know what the big difference is. I think he and Mateer are kind of the same guy. Frankly, they were playing in the Mountain West.
I'll even say Mateer's numbers are more impressive.
They were more impressive last year. So I think you'd probably give him the benefit of the doubt there. He's not a returning quarterback to his program, but Malik Murphy is at Oregon State now, former Pac-12 foe, RIP. I'm a Malik Murphy fan. He was replaced at Duke by Darian Mensah, who was at Tulane. So
would you have Dampier in the top 20?
Yes, he'd be in the top 20.
15?
The top. I'd have to think about it.
Gosh, we won Utah fans over with you last week too. You're so kind.
Yeah, I know.
Which I shouldn't say. If Dampier's a top 15, like that's a huge compliment. I'm betting on upside, and you are far more likely to be right on this. But I'm a believer, and I'm drinking the Kool-Aid that is Devon Dampier.
Hey, man, you're the host of Locked On Utes. Drink the Kool-Aid. That's the job. Bert Kreischer style. Just chug the Kool-Aid back.
Today's episode of Locked On Utes is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal financial tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to interface on your laptop or phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. I mean, you can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Well, one thing I love about Monarch Money is it just makes it simple to review my finances with my partner as well, too. So we can both set budget goals and just make sure we're spending our money and putting it in the best places. Don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege, all caps and no spaces, at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONCollege, all caps, no spaces. You can head over and use Monarch Money today. That's going to do it for today's Locked On Utes. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about the latest going on at Camp Kyle.